Hello and welcome to the Knowledge Exchange. My name is Lisette Lopez Piepenberg, and I am the Hispanic Program Coordinator here at Lakeland. In that capacity, I'm also the advisor for the Hispanic Club, and the students here today are part of the executive committee of that club. I have to admit that when I first came to Lakeland about nearly 3 years ago, I did not know much about the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. It is also known as DACA. And I can definitely relate to my students because I also came as an immigrant at the age of 12 from Guatemala. And I can also am sure that everyone in this room can trace their family history to a distant immigrant relative. I am also grateful that one of Lakeland's core values is diversity, so that we can openly exchange information in a nonpartisan way. I would like to thank Attorney Kim Alabasi from the Law Office of Dworkin and Bernstein for sharing her expertise on immigration issues here today. And I also would like to especially thank our Lakeland students that you see here for the courage they have to share their personal stories with you. We hope that you find today's Knowledge Exchange program to be informative on a topic currently at the forefront of our news. And at this point, I would like to introduce Professor Greg Truhan. He is the Program Director for Criminal Justice and has graciously agreed to be our MC today, and he will open our program.
Thank you, Lisette. I would also like to extend my welcome on behalf of Lakeland Community College to today's Knowledge Exchange. Last month, I received an email from one of my most excellent criminal justice students, Patty Mendez, who is seated second from your left. Say hi, Patty. And with her permission, I want to share that email exchange with you. Dear Professor Truhan, I just wanted to let you know I can't make it to class Wednesday. I'm attending a rally for Dreamers because I was on DACA. So this is very important to me. Is there any way I can make up any points I missed for the absence? Thank you, Patty. Hi, Patty. Not a problem. No points lost. Let me know if you would be willing to talk about your situation in class. Thank you, Professor. Yes, I can. The following week, Dr. Michelle Smith, Professor of Sociology at Lakeland, sent an email to all users that she had attended that DACA rally, Dreamers Rally, and heard current and former Lakeland students speak at the event. Michelle expressed hope that the Lakeland family could show our support to their precarious position. And I want to acknowledge Michelle because she's here today. Thank you, Michelle. In response to Michelle's email, there was a flurry of email exchanges back and forth amongst faculty, brainstorming ideas of how we could help. Our guiding tenets at Lakeland Community College include impacting lives through learning and removing barriers to success. To that end, we offer today's program. In addition to Patty, who I already introduced, I'd like to introduce another Lakeland student, Juan Gutierrez, who is majoring in accounting, and you will hear from both Patty and Juan shortly. Right now, I'd like to introduce, to take the podium, Attorney Kim Alabasi, as you heard from the law firm of Dworkin and Bernstein, who's graciously agreed to help us present this information. Kim?
Thank you, everyone. Yes, I am an attorney, an immigration attorney. We're here to learn about DACA, talk about DACA, be clear on what DACA is and what is not, talk about what's happened to DACA, what the future of DACA is, what the future is for students like Patty and Juan, in the event that we don't have any more DACA. So there are a lot of terms that are thrown around, and I'm sure you all have heard them on the news, but the best thing to start with maybe is to watch a short video about exactly what DACA is, and this comes straight from the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services.
U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, announces Consideration of Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA. Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals allows certain individuals who meet specific guidelines to request consideration of deferred action from USCIS. Individuals who receive deferred action will not be placed into removal proceedings or removed from the United States for a specified period of time unless terminated. If you receive deferred action, you may be eligible for employment authorization. Can I be considered? You may request deferred action for childhood arrivals if you meet the following guidelines. You came to the United States before reaching your 16th birthday. You have continuously resided in the United States since June 15, 2007, up to the present time. You were under the age of 31 as of June 15, 2012. You entered without inspection before June 15, 2012, or your lawful immigration status expired as of June 15, 2012. You are currently in school, have graduated or obtained your certificate of completion from high school, have obtained your General Educational Development Certificate, or you are an honorably discharged veteran of the Coast Guard or Armed Forces of the United States. You have not been convicted of a felony, significant misdemeanor, or 3 or more misdemeanors, and do not otherwise pose a threat to national security or public safety. You were physically present in the United States on June 15, 2012, and at the time of making your request for consideration of deferred action with USCIS. How do I file? Collect documents as evidence that you meet the guidelines. Complete USCIS Forms I-821D, I-765, and I-765WS worksheet. Mail USCIS forms and fees, totaling $465. Visit your local USCIS Application Support Center for a scheduled biometrics services appointment. Check the status of your request online. There are 3 steps to the renewal process: find, insure, and complete. Step 1. Look at your form I-797, Notice of Action, and find the date that your current period of DACA expires. You can also find the expiration date on the front of your employment authorization document. It's important to know this date. You should submit your renewal request about 4 months, or 120 days, before your current period of DACA expires. Step 2. Ensure you meet the following. You met the guidelines for initial DACA. You did not depart the United States on or after August 15, 2012, without advance parole. You have continuously resided in the United States since you submitted your most recent DACA request that was approved. You have not been convicted of a felony, a significant misdemeanor, or 3 or more misdemeanors, and you do not otherwise pose a threat to national security or public safety. Step 3. Complete and mail 3 forms available for free on our website, www.uscis.gov. Form I-821D, Consideration of Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. Form I-765, Application for Employment Authorization, and Form I-765WS, Worksheet. Remember to sign your forms and pay $465 to renew your DACA. The $465 covers the filing fee of $380 for Form I-765 and $85 to have your fingerprints and photo taken. We encourage you to read the instructions for these 3 forms, including the details on where to mail your request. Instructions are also available in Spanish. For more information about DACA or requesting a renewal, visit www.uscis.gov/childhood arrivals.
So that's a pretty good description of the actual application process of DACA. DACA was implemented in 2012 as an executive order from President Obama. The reason he gave for implementing DACA was that Congress had been unable for many years to come up with legislation. And so he ordered that DACA begin in 2012, and that's why I'm sure you all know very recently President Trump, again through executive order, was able to announce that he would be putting an end to the DACA program. Many people who have DACA are called dreamers, and the reason they're called dreamers is because 16 years ago, the very first legislation that was introduced to assist minors who are here without any status was called the Development, Relief, and Education for Alien Minors Act, the DREAM Act. And Congress, ever since then, has been trying to enact some kind of legislation to assist people who came here as children and who have no other way of legalizing. At this point, like I said, we all know that DACA is coming to an end. At the moment, there is nothing in place to replace DACA. And so those who have DACA who were not able to renew before the deadline, beginning in early March of next year, those people will gradually be losing their DACA employment authorization. I know we'll be talking later and having question and answer period, but you know, there are a lot of misconceptions about what DACA is and what it isn't. It's not a legal status, it's just protection from being deported from the country. But it does provide people with the ability to work and live in the United States. So with that, for now, I will turn it over to Patty and Juan to hear their stories.
Yeah, I just want to say before I turn it over to Patty, as I believe the latest count, we have, 23 DACA students at Lakeland, 23. So you're going to hear from 2 today, and I'll turn it over to Patty Mendez, my outstanding criminal justice student. I'm a little biased, I'm sorry.
Hi. Thank you all for being here, and I also want to thank Lakeland for letting us share our story. My name is Patricia Mendez. I'm a DACA recipient. This is my story. I was born July 5th in Irapuato, Mexico. Growing up was tough, but as humans, we have to go through obstacles. Life gives us 2 options, which is to overcome the obstacles to make us a better person or to live in the past and hold us back. With that said, I chose to overcome obstacles that have been presented to me so far. The major obstacle that I have to overcome yet is to fight to stay in my home which I called America. I was brought to the United States when I was 3 years old. My father was already living in the U.S. He had asked my mom to come to America and to leave my siblings and I back in Mexico. My mom told him that he was crazy and was not going to leave us back. My parents paid for a coyote. I don't really remember much about crossing over because I was only 3 years old. From the stories my mom and other immigrants have told me, it seems dangerous and scary crossing the border. When we got home where my father was living at, my mom found out he was cheating on her and there was no way for us to run to a different place, no food, just the clothes we had on. We had nothing. So we had to live with my father for a while until my mom got stable and able to afford a place for us to live at. During that time, my parents decided to separate even though we were living together. While we lived with my father was physically and verbally abusive to my mother. My mom did not report this to police because she was scared that we would get deported. Eventually, my mom was able to afford a place for my siblings and me, with the help of St. Mary's Church in Painesville and Maria Mejia, a human service worker. We were able to breathe and live a bit happier. I am so thankful and grateful for their help. After a few years, we started to see my father less each time. He eventually stopped coming around. Years went on, no sign of my father, until when I was turning 5, he decided to come back and apologize for leaving us. My mom did not want to get back with him, but she gave him visiting privileges. Since it was my birthday, my father wanted to take my siblings and I out to eat and to the park. My mom had said that it was okay just to bring us home before it got dark. Time passed and we were not home. My mom was getting worried, so she called my father's family members. They didn't know where we were. My mom called a friend to let him know what was going on. They waited a few more hours, yet no sign of us. My mom's friend told her that they had to file a police report. When driving to the police station, my mom received an anonymous call, and they told her that my father was taking us back to Mexico. My mom was freaking out and was devastated. The police made the report, but they couldn't do anything because we were not citizens and we were already out of the country. My mom went back to Mexico to get us. My mom had to go to Mexico. When she got to Mexico, my parents were arguing. My aunts didn't want us to see them arguing, so they tried to take us inside. But we kept crying and yelling for my mom. My father wanted my mom to get back with him. She didn't want to. He told her that the only way that she could see us was if they got back together. My mom agreed to get back together, but she told him that she wanted to spend that night at my aunt's house. My father stayed with his family. We got to my aunt's house. My mom immediately asked my aunt to lend us money because we were returning back to the U.S. My aunt didn't want to because she didn't want problems with my father's family. My mom told her that she didn't want my siblings and I to have the violence life in Mexico. She lent us the money, and off we went with a coyote. While at the border, the coyote wanted the money. My mom gave it to him. He said that was not the right amount. The money that she gave him could only cross one of us over. She told him that she will pay him back when they got to the U.S. He said no, that he wanted it now or he was going to leave us in the desert. My mom asked for a phone. She called a friend in the U.S. My mom asked him to lend us money. He said yes. The coyote and him talked on the phone. My mom's friend gave him his word that he would pay the coyote, but just to bring us where he was living at. We got to his house safe. After going through this, we kind of live day by day with fear from our father coming back and kidnapping us again. Going through this motivates me to do the best I can in school and in work because I want my mom to be proud of me. She went through a lot to bring us back to America for a better future. I promised to myself which to make her proud by doing great in life and not getting in trouble. The way I could succeed was putting my time in academics. During high school, I was also attending Auburn Career Center. I was an honor roll and merit roll student. Throughout the years of high school, I noticed that I really enjoyed school and it made me feel happy every time I learned something new. During my junior year, I've noticed that some of my classmates were getting their temps, looking and applying to college. One day after school, I asked my mom when she was going to take me to get my temps. That's when she told me I was an immigrant and I didn't have the proper documents to get my temps. Everything started to make sense. Growing up, my mom, when she would drive, she would get super nervous when a cop was in front, behind us, or anywhere near us. She would tell us, "Don't even move a finger." She still gets nervous now, even though she has a permit. As we know, DACA was introduced by Obama as an executive order. When the executive order was in place, I didn't apply right away because I was scared. I was not sure if this was a way for the government to lure us in and then deport us. After hearing from students and family members that they applied, I've decided to go for it. During the middle of my senior year, I applied. I was getting nervous because I needed my social security number to take my cosmetology test. I was relieved when I got it after graduation. I was happy to graduate, but also sad I didn't have a plan, not a college to attend, and no job. I was walking through the mall. I saw that Forever 21 was hiring, so I decided to apply. I got hired within 5 months, I got promoted to management position. I've been working in retail for 4 years, and obtained a manager position. I've worked at Aeropostale and currently working at Charlotte Russe. I waited 3 years before I attended college because I didn't know anything about college, and I couldn't afford it. One day, my younger sister came home and told us that she was enrolling in the Army. I didn't want her to go because I felt like I was losing my best friend, but I knew she was making a good decision. My family and I had to go to North Carolina for the ceremony for completing her Army training. That's when I saw my mom's face, that she was so happy and proud. I wanted the same look one day. I told my sister that I envy her and I was so proud of her. I mentioned to her that I wanted to go to college. She said to go for it. She's always been a tough person, so there is no emotions, no other comments from her. I try to FaceTime my sister when I can because she is currently stationed in Germany. Before we hang up, she always tells me that she's proud of me, but then she says something mean. After returning from North Carolina, I applied at Lakeland. I didn't have a scholarship or any money saved up for college since I love spending my money on clothes. What can I say? I'm a girl. Because I also didn't save up because I didn't know that I would have the opportunity to go to college. And I knew that I couldn't get financial aid. With the help and arguments that I had with my boyfriend, he has been a great person guiding me through college. The first 2 semesters was really difficult. I was the first one in my household to attend college, and my family didn't really understand that I didn't have too much time to spare. I was working full-time, and I was attending college part-time. I was trying to get enough sleep and study time. After a while, my family understood a bit more. This is my 4th semester at Lakeland, and I love college. I wish I could just go to college and not have to work, but that's impossible. I have to pay my bills and pay for school. I've been indecisive of what career I want to pursue, but since I've taken one criminal justice and currently taken another one, I really enjoy class. As for my free time, I like going to the playhouse, coffee shops, museum. I volunteer at church, and I'm also the president of the Hispanic Club at Lakeland. I love watching movies, even though I can't remember the names of the movies or actors' names. Moving on to answer to some of the questions that people have asked me towards DACA. Being rescinded, for example, people ask me how I'm doing, how I feel about DACA being rescinded, how I feel and react about the bad comments from others. Well, on September 5th, when President Donald Trump rescinded, my heart dropped. I was at work. I just wanted to run out and go home. I couldn't leave. I couldn't express myself to anyone at work because no one at work knew that I was a DACA recipient. As for the president's decision, I understand because DACA was an executive order and not a law from the legislature. Moreover, the comments I've seen on social media, it's heartbreaking and it tugs at my heart. I understand people have opinions, so I don't reply to their comments. So to the big question, what if nothing gets passed? Well, if I would have to go back to Mexico, I have no home to live at as well. My Spanish is not bueno. When Americans go on vacation to Mexico, the only thing they see is the beautiful part of Mexico, not the bad part. The government is corrupt. They work with cartels. There's no one to protect you. Overall, I just want people to know my story, and I want them to see me as an American. One thing that I've learned from my teachers that stuck with me was don't judge a book by its cover. I compare humans with books because we all have different life experience that we've gone through, and the way we can understand each other is by letting getting to know one another, and don't judge them by the way they look. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. I met Patty's mother last week at a DACA fundraiser, and I can tell you, Patty, she's proud of you. And we, as faculty employees here at Lakeland, part of our job is to try to motivate our students, and my students motivate me, and you motivate me, Patty. So I want to turn it over to Juan Gutierrez. Juan, and I didn't mean to put Patty above you. But I will tell you this story, because he's an accounting student, and I did not do well in accounting in college. It was my worst subject, and I'm not even going to tell you my grades. So maybe you can help me out with accounting. How's that? Hey, Ron.
So, hello, my name is Juan Pablo Gutierrez Perez, and I am a DACA recipient. I would like to share my story today. I was born on April 29th, 1999 in León, Guanajuato, Mexico. I really don't remember anything about Mexico because I was brought to the United States when I was only 3 years of age. I don't remember anything. I just know that one day I was in Mexico with my grandma. The next day I was in Chicago, Illinois. That's literally all I remember. So for me, basically, Mexico was just a place where I was born. That's it. And for me, home was America. I was practically raised here, and till this day, America is still home for me. When I was brought to America, it was with my parents and my two brothers when they were 6 and 9. We lived in Chicago for roughly 2 years, and then we moved to Painesville because we couldn't save money. There was too much entertainment over there. So yeah. In Painesville, I started kindergarten and lived and studied here till my senior year, all in Painesville City local schools. I really didn't feel any different from any other kid in school. Why? Because I was there since kindergarten. For me, we were all the same. Until I hit high school, when I was asked to participate and represent the school in several programs, several events. But I couldn't because they asked for a social security card because of tax purposes and everything for the program. And I just couldn't. I didn't have one. And that's when it actually hit me and I realized that my future was still in jeopardy. So then one day, our President Obama gave me the chance of a lifetime. He started DACA program, and I finally saw hope in my future, so I could finally go to college and better myself and my family. My parents always worked. I barely saw them because they both worked 2 jobs just to make it. During high school years, I attended both Auburn Career Center in high school, and I was very active in both schools. I was in yearbook staff in high school, where I became an editor and volunteered many hours to go to games to take pictures and basically just to make the yearbook look great. At Auburn Career Center, I was in the business management program where I had to compete every year for school, and I'm proud to say that the 2 years I attended Auburn, I went to state level thanks to me getting first place in districts, both years. My second year, when I was in states, I placed 5th place in the state level, and I was 1 point away from going nationals. And that was gonna be a nice vacation because I was in Anaheim, California. So yeah, I was very mad about that. Just to say that in Auburn, I graduated with honors, all of it, and I was awarded the Student of the Year and Student of Distinction for my class. At Harvey High School, I was graduated with honors, even though I had to go to more classes than I should have. And I just don't say this to show myself off. I don't want to show and top everybody else. I just want to show that I'm a good person, I'm a good student, and I'm a dreamer for a better future that one day wants to become a CPA. I want to get my MBA in business, and I want to become a business owner to create jobs and better the community. I don't mean no harm at all, at all. I just want to better my future and better my family so I could buy my parents a house one day and just say, just stay at home. Currently, as we speak, I'm a full-time college student, and I currently have 2 jobs just to pay for my college tuition, since I don't have a chance to ask for government help or many scholarships, because they ask you to be a U.S. permanent resident or a citizen. So I don't get the chance of many scholarships at all. Since I have to pay full price of any college, Lakeland was my only option, basically. I was accepted into many high-end colleges, but Lakeland was the one in my budget, basically. Which I don't want to talk down on Lakeland. It's a great school, but it was in my budget. And as I currently work and everything, I see that in America I have everything. I have my studies, I have my work, I have my career in process, and I have my incredible and irreplaceable friends. For me here, I have everything here. I do have family in Mexico, but I barely see them. So if I've ever got deported, I wouldn't know where to go. I wouldn't know where to even start looking. The only thing I know was that I was born in León, Guanajuato, but that's a city, a whole city. Wouldn't know where to start looking at all. So with DACA, I was fined legally for 2 years, and then due to laws changing that decided to revoke the DACA program, I now stand sadly with my future in jeopardy, that if I'm able to stay in this great nation or leave to a country that I haven't been in since I was 3 years old. So I don't ask for anything about what side you're on, but I just want you to see that the DACA recipients, all 800,000 of us in the whole nation, are just here to better this country. Just to get the first time to get DACA, you have to go through a lot of processes. You gotta show that you're here to better the country, not to go against it, because you'll get denied. You won't get approved at all. Currently, I pay $1,000 every 2 years to renew my DACA. That includes the fees for the application and my attorney. So that's every 2 years, and that still doesn't guarantee me to say, oh, I'm approved. So currently, I did get renewed, and I'm good till October of 2019. But after that, I don't know what's gonna happen. I still don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish my career, because this is my first semester at Lakeland Community College. So currently, I still don't know what my future ahead of me looks like. So I just hope it for the better. That's all. Thank you.
Before I open it up for questions for the panel members, I just wanted to bring to your attention that obviously Lakeland Community College is not the only educational institution that DACA students are attending. And I want to just read you the first line of the from the Ohio Association of Community Colleges. They wrote a letter that's dated October 6, 2017. And it's to the members of the Ohio Congressional Delegation. It says, on behalf of the Ohio Association of Community Colleges, I write to urge you to support a permanent bipartisan solution to maintain the Deferred Action on Childhood Arrivals DACA program. With that, I want to open it up to any questions for any panel member.
Yes, they're the people that bring us over. I don't know why they're called coyotes. Maybe because coyotes are in the desert or something. But yeah, they're the ones that guide us through where we have to go.
You know, I'm going to share this story with you real quick because you reminded of it. In my personal situation, my brother and his wife 30-some years ago, adopted a baby from South Korea from an orphanage. And unbeknownst to any of us in the family, my brother and his wife failed to get her U.S. citizenship all that time. And that was, you know, that was a perfectly legal adoption. They just never did the paperwork, and I don't know why. And so when I found out about it, I worked for the U.S. government, and I was calling all my immigration friends, and they're like, man, your brother's a knucklehead. You know, they go, if he would have done the paperwork when she was a juvenile, it's not that hard. But now that she's an adult, it took her like 5 years. And, you know, through no fault of her own, like you hear these stories, through no fault. You're 3 years old and you're brought over here. You know, if my niece had to get, and she was subject to deportation, and she found out like you guys did, because she was a Tennessee Titan cheerleader, and the first time they were going on a trip overseas, she didn't have the paperwork and couldn't produce it, and that's when she found out. She's probably 22, 23 years old. That's when she found out she wasn't a U.S. citizen. She never knew. So I kind of have that connection that what do you do when you're a little kid and through no fault of your own, you're in this position. And if I'm thinking about if my niece got deported back to South Korea, she was raised in the United States. She looks Korean, but she doesn't speak it, you know. She'd be lost. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Both heart-wrenching stories. What I didn't hear was a thank you for all of the money that people in Lake County have paid for their education. I'd like to hear a thank you for the people that live in Lake County that pay their real estate taxes. 52,000 seniors that are being priced out of their homes because of ever-escalating real estate taxes. How about thanking the 13.7% for the Lake County residents that are living at or near poverty line? How about thanking the veterans, Lake County veterans that have sacrificed to give everybody the freedom that we enjoy? Thank you.
Sir, thank you. Like I said, my sister's in the Army right now, so I really support the veterans, and I'm thankful for the education that I got in America.
I want to say thank you for the education and everything, but I also want to say that all illegal immigrants contribute to this country, and we do not get any services. We do not have the ability to claim Medicare, but we contribute to it every single paycheck. We contribute to Social Security, but we don't have the chance to contribute at all. We contribute with taxes, but we can't ask for government help. So I do want to say thank you for all the education you've given me, but also we contribute too. So thank you.
Thank you, and I thank you. I want to remind you too of Lisette's opening remarks. She said you can trace most of us back to immigrants. We're all immigrants in our own way, right? I know my family came through Ellis Island. Go ahead.
I just wanted to respond a little bit. It is good to hear everyone's thoughts and you know what their opinions are. I don't quite know that all of those things are a direct result of the DACA students. But I also just wanted to point out, I kind of mentioned it at the beginning, there are a lot of misconceptions about DACA students in particular, and I know Juan, you just already mentioned. DACA students do not have any legal status here. DACA is simply the ability to live here and not get deported. DACA students do not qualify for any financial aid for school, no public benefits anywhere, no health coverage under Obamacare. They don't have the right to vote. They have no green card, no path to citizenship. And so, yes, it's good to hear everyone's thoughts and opinions on DACA, but it's also good to know what's the real truth about what DACA is and what's not. That's it.
Well, for those DACA recipients, won't get renewed. That's in the paperwork that you have to be in school, you have to be educated, you have to be enforcing your career. You cannot just get a legal, not legal status, but a Social Security, but not do anything with it. For us to have DACA, we have to be doing something with it. For me, I'm in college right now, so I could become an accountant. For her, she's in college right now to be a criminal justice. If we weren't in college, we wouldn't get renewed.
And
So
then
that-
also if we committed any crimes, because we have to go through the same process again, go get our fingerprints every time. If we did something bad, it would show up and they would deny us.
So for us, we always have to be the good boy or we get denied, basically.
Thank you. And thank you for acknowledging Gloria Lanes here from our Women's Resource Center. We have the Men's Resource Center and the Women's Resource Center, and they do excellent work. Thank you guys for what you do. And any kind of help that our students need is there's someone here on this campus that can help, and that's what we pride ourselves in. Angie, do you want to?
Yeah, I didn't mention it in my speech, but I'm actually part of a nonprofit organization in Painesville. There's different students that go to Lakeland, or there's students that go to Lake Erie. We get together and we come up with ideas. Like we said, we had a rally, we had a fundraiser. Right now we're trying to get funds to go to Washington in November, hopefully, so we can talk to the congressmen. So that's what we're doing right now. But yeah, we have a Facebook page at Ohio Dreamers. So that's the way that you guys can follow us and get to know what other steps we're doing to encourage Congress to pass something.
Yeah, and the solution to this right now is the legislative branch of the federal government, U.S. Congress, U.S. Senate. So I would say write to them. They're going to be taking a I don't know if you call it a field trip. They're going to go to Washington, and I know Patty's scheduled to speak before the U.S. Congress and senators about her story. And we're helping to support raising funds for them to go to tell their story. But again, it's the legislative solution that's needed, and that's what we're hoping for from the federal government. Some solution. Yes.
As an immigration lawyer and from personal experience as immigrants, did you foresee this type of legislation being passed under the Trump administration, or did it come as a surprise?
For me, it wasn't a surprise because, like I said, it was an executive order. So the next president can come and take those executive orders. So we knew it was only temporary.
For me, I'm a big politics person also, so I followed both campaigns since the beginning. And he said it several times while he was campaigning that he was going to revoke everything what the Obama administration did. So I wasn't a surprise for me. The day he got elected, my lawyer called me and told me, we need to do something about your case to put in process so you can renew it and see if you could get just an extra year. But we know that the day he went in, he could just sign the paperwork and get it done with. So for me, it wasn't a surprise. It was just what day is it going to happen on?
Yeah, and there were rumors kind of leading up to the actual day where we were all talking about it and kind of getting ready for, it being over. So there was some warning, but not too much until a week or so beforehand.
The people with your status give out of all proportion to what you get, that a majority of the people in your position pay taxes and receive nothing. Is that true?
That's correct.
That's
Could you
true.
elaborate on that, and you too?
Yeah, like I can't ask for any financial aid. I can't get any Medicare, Medicaid. Like I have to pay it out of pocket.
For me, I can't. Well, I pay into taxes. I could show all my pay stubs, my miserable little dead-end pay stubs. You see that it's Medicare, Social Security, all of those are deducted from my paycheck from both of my jobs, and I can't claim any of it. I could show you anything you want, and it will show that I contribute, but I can't ask for anything. I could apply for FAFSA, but everything gets zero. I don't get any financial aid. For scholarships, like I said, to apply for scholarships, it has to be just there's limited, you can count with your hands how many scholarships are available for us. It's just for DACA students. Because all of them ask for U.S. citizenship or U.S. permanent residency. So for me to go to college, I had to work basically my ass off.
And also, I just wanted to point out in terms of students, most states require that DACA students pay out of state tuition. There are only 18 states that allow undocumented students who have gone to high school and graduated in the state to get in-state tuition. I didn't bring the numbers with me today, but there are many, many reports about how not just DACA students, but immigrants by far generate more and contribute more to the economy than they take from it. And I mean, we've already talked about all the things that immigrants and DACA students in particular do not qualify for in terms of public benefits. So they definitely have it hard, some of them. So
back to the comment about the taxpayers here in Lake County. For one thing, DACA is much bigger than Lake County. This is nationwide. Not only that, but also there's a lot of people that run on the assumption that DACA is only for Hispanic students or Mexican students, and that's not true. Any student of any race, ethnicity, nationality can become a DACA recipient. And also, too, I work here. I can tell you there's a lot more students that live here in Lake County that are probably misusing taxpayer dollars because they are not living up to their full potential like they could be, and they're wasting taxpayer dollars as well. So it's not just about DACA students who want to, better their lives through education. This knowledge exchange was meant to be used as an opening for people to learn about these people, and that was a very spiteful comment. And I'm pretty sure you probably could have done your own research to learn about the DACA regulations and laws to prevent yourself from having made a comment as such. Because if you also were more educated on what's going on here in Lakeland, you would know that as well about our tax-paying students and how our money is being misused on these students who are just here, probably not living up to their full potential. So I just wanted that to be said.
I was just wondering, what is your message to fellow DACA recipients who are in the same situation as you?
The thing that I would tell them is, like, a bunch of people that have DACA, they're afraid to share their stories because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. But I would tell them, like, share your stories because people will get to know you better. And maybe you can change their mind, or maybe at least give them the facts of who they really are.
We have 4 minutes left, so.
If these students were deported, what would they have to do to get back here? I heard that that takes a long time.
Oh yeah,
it's another like 4-hour
yeah,
discussion.
It's another seminar.
I point out people have DACA because they really don't have any other relief to get legal status. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's not easy.
If ever, yeah.
Go ahead, ma'am.
What is available for DACA at Lakeland as far as tuition? Are they considered in-county, out-county, out-of-state, international?
We're considered, if you live in Lake County, you're considered in-county. So you get the best price, basically.
So they're considered in-county from Lake.
Yeah.
We got about a minute or two, real quick. Meryl, go ahead, close it out for us. Thank you, Meryl. And with that, we'll close our program. Thank you all so much for coming. And I wish all of you a very great day today, okay? Bye.
The Knowledge Exchange is a presentation of Lakeland Community College.